We've got some news. So first up, the Pokemon Company is collaborating with Uniqlo UT in order to create more Pokemon themed t-shirts. Some of those designs are already available in Pokemon Go. So 3 designs from the collection featuring Pikachu, Ditto, and Eevee are currently available in the Style Shop. And best of all, they're currently available for the low cost of free. So if you want to go ahead and snag any of these shirts for your avatar in Pokemon Go, you're free to do so. And I'll also go ahead and leave a link down in the description below to the Uniqlo website if you want to kind of check out and maybe purchase any of the IRL versions of the Pokemon Collection t-shirts from Uniqlo. So for our main story for today, as is once again time to vote for the Pokemon for not only June's Community Day, but also for July's Community Day. So on Saturday, May 23rd at 6 p.m. Pacific Time until Sunday, May 24th at 6 p.m. Pacific Time, there will be a poll posted on the official Pokemon Go Twitter account, which I'll go ahead and have linked down in the description below, in which during that 24-hour period, you'll be able to cast 1 vote for the Pokemon you'd like to see most in either Community Day. So ultimately, the Pokemon that gains the most votes will be the Pokemon featured for June's Community Day, and the Pokemon that receives the second most votes will be the featured Pokemon for July's Community Day. So along with announcing the day to vote, Niantic has also announced the 4 candidates for the 2 community days. And not only that, but they've also announced what kind of exclusive move each of those candidates will learn if they get themselves a spot in either June or July's Community Day. So the very first candidate that they mention is Squirtle. So if you evolve a Wartortle, which they specify is the evolved form of Squirtle, during Community Day, you'll get yourself a Blastoise that knows the fighting type charge attack, Aura Sphere. Now, while it does seem like giving Blastoise a fighting type charge attack might possibly give it some extra coverages all in like PvP and whatnot, and while they do specify that it gives Blastoise a chance to get some wins against popular Steel-type Pokemon like Registeel, it is worth pointing out that Blastoise was already capable of getting some pretty big wins against Steel types such as Registeel, and that's primarily with its other Community Day exclusive move, Hydro Cannon. And on a side note, I feel like Squirtle is falling very closely in line with how Dratini was in the last voting session for a Community Day, in which both of these Pokemon have already been featured in 3 other Community Days in some way, shape, or form. And for one reason or another, Niantic likes to give them a fighting type charge move instead to compensate, with Dragonite last time being able to learn Superpower, and with Blastoise now given the option for Aura Sphere. But yeah, honestly, in my opinion, much like Dratini, it's really hard to justify voting for Squirtle specifically because, again, it's already been featured in 3 other Community Days, and most likely would probably come back in the December Community Day of this year anyway. That and Aura Sphere really doesn't provide anything extra to Blastoise. So the next candidate on the list is the Pokemon Weedle, which I should probably emphasize now that this is the only Pokemon that currently does not have its shiny form released yet. Hint, hint. But in any event, if you evolve Kakuna, which they specify is the evolved form of Weedle, to Beedrill during Community Day, you'll get yourself a Beedrill that knows the ground-type charge attack Drill Run. Now, all in all, Beedrill has some fairly solid poison and bug-type moves already at its disposal, and thanks to the fact that it is a poison and bug-type, it already gains some fairly good stab out of those moves. However, all in all, Drill Run is a really good ground move to have. And once again, we don't have the shiny for Weedle yet, so having Weedle as a community day Pokemon means we get a new shiny. So the third candidate on the list is the Pokemon Sandshrew. So the Kanto version of Sandshrew will be available in the wild and from eggs, and the Alolan version of Sandshrew will solely be appearing in raid battles if Sandshrew does get a community day. And if you evolve either the Kanto or the Alolan version of Sandshrew into Sandslash, you'll get yourself a Sandslash or an Alolan Sandslash that knows the ghost type fast attack Shadow Claw. While Sandslash already has some fairly good fast moves, both for its Alolan form and its Kanto form, I guess the addition of Shadow Claw does give it at least a bit more damage in terms of its fast move, and at the very least does provide it some extra coverage against Pokemon that are weak to Shadow Claw, such as any of the Giratinas, as well as like Cresselia and Mew for the most part. However, it is also worth noting that Sandshrew, at least the Kanto version, is still kind of plagued with some slow or terrible charge moves, so really giving it a fast move, which while it does provide more damage, ultimately provides it less energy. It really doesn't give it that much benefit. Alolan Sandshrew is able to carry a little bit better with its with slightly better charge moves, but it kind of falls in the same category as well. So all in all, not the greatest meta-wise, but ultimately some pretty nice shinies if that's solely what you're looking for. So the final candidate for June and or July's community days is the Pokemon Ghastly. If you evolve a Haunter, which they specify is the evolved form of Ghastly, during Community Day, you'll get yourself a Gengar that knows the Ghost type charged attack Shadow Punch. So while this does give Gengar a little bit more meta relevance in Great League, Haunter also is able to pull off the exact same moveset since it already knows Shadow Punch, and most likely both will be paired with the fast move Shadow Claw and the other charge move Shadow Ball. So most likely, if you already have a Haunter set up for Great League with those moves, there's really not really a need to make a Gengar for Great League, at least. But on the plus side, this does mean that you'll be able to get yourself the Haunter equivalent in Ultra League as well. At least some extra competition against some of the big mainstays in Ultra League, primarily the two forms of Giratina. So ultimately, if you've been needing a more ghost coverage in your Ultra League team, Gengar is definitely a pretty big one to look into. So once again, the day to vote for June and July's community days will be from Saturday, May 23rd at 6 p.m. to Sunday, May 24th at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And the poll will be posted on the official Pokemon Go Twitter account, which once again will be linked in the description down below. So that's all of the news I have for today. I hope once again you're all staying safe and staying healthy during this time. And once again, I'll see you guys in the next video.